On March 30th, 1968, in the small town of Charlemagne, Quebec, a modest home welcomed its 14th child, Céline Dion. Her parents, Thérèse Dion and Adhémar Dion, were already raising a large family on limited means. Life in the Dion household required constant sacrifice. Privacy was rare, meals were carefully stretched, and winters often felt harsher for a family with so many mouths to feed. Yet inside that crowded home, something extraordinary existed: music. Adhémar played the accordion, Thérèse sang, and the older children harmonized together. Music was not simply entertainment. It was how the family celebrated, comforted each other, and stayed strong through difficult times. For young Céline, songs became a language long before fame was imaginable. At 5 years old, she stood on the kitchen table and sang for her family. In that moment, her parents sensed something unusual. The voice of their quiet daughter carried a depth far beyond her years. A chance that changed everything. By the time Céline turned 12, her mother believed the world needed to hear that voice. Thérèse wrote a simple song titled "Ce n'était qu'un rêve" and recorded a homemade demo tape. She sent it to respected Quebec music manager René, hoping he might listen. At first, it seemed like just another demo among many. But when René pressed play, something stopped him. He listened again, and then again. Soon he visited the Dion home expecting a polished young performer. Instead, he found a shy 12-year-old singing in a modest living room with astonishing confidence. The moment moved him deeply. Convinced of her potential, he made an extraordinary decision. He mortgaged his own house to finance her first album. It was a remarkable act of faith that launched a career. In that instant, the lives of both manager and singer were permanently connected. From local talent to rising star, Céline's early French-language albums quickly gained attention in Quebec. Audiences were captivated by her powerful yet sincere voice. Critics noticed the emotional clarity she brought to every performance, and radio stations began playing her music regularly. But success in Quebec was only the beginning. René believed she could reach audiences far beyond Canada. He guided her through a careful transformation, focusing not on changing her talent but preparing her for the global stage. She improved her English, refined her stage presence, and learned the demanding discipline required of international artists. Throughout the process, Céline remained grounded in the values she learned at home: hard work, humility, and persistence. She never viewed the changes as artificial. Instead, she saw them as preparation. The girl who once sang at the kitchen table was slowly becoming an artist capable of reaching millions. Love that faced public scrutiny. As the years passed, the relationship between Céline and René evolved beyond professional partnership. Despite their 26-year age difference, a deep affection grew between them. When their relationship became public, it drew intense attention. Critics questioned the circumstances, and tabloids speculated endlessly. Yet Céline remained calm and confident. She spoke openly about her feelings and defended the relationship with quiet conviction. For her, the bond was genuine and built on years of trust and shared dreams. In December 1994, they married in a grand ceremony at Notre Dame Basilica. The event was televised across Canada, watched by millions. For Céline, the wedding symbolized not just romance, but gratitude toward the man who had believed in her long before the world knew her name. The moment the world listened, international fame arrived rapidly. In 1988, Céline represented Switzerland at the Eurovision Song Contest and performed Ne partez pas sans moi. She won the competition by a single point. That narrow victory introduced her to millions of viewers across Europe and beyond. Soon, English-language albums followed, each expanding her audience. Songs like The Power of Love and Because You Loved Me revealed her remarkable ability to connect emotionally with listeners. Her voice carried both strength and vulnerability, making each performance feel personal. By the early 1990s, she was no longer just a Canadian star. She had become an international sensation. Audiences everywhere responded to the sincerity in her music. For many listeners, her songs felt less like performances and more like heartfelt confessions. Choosing love over career. In 1998, René Angelil was diagnosed with throat cancer. For Céline, the decision about what to do next came quickly. She paused her thriving career to care for him during treatment. The music industry was surprised. At the height of her success, stepping away from tours and recordings was considered risky. But for Céline, the choice was simple. She wanted to stand beside the man who had always stood beside her. During those years, she focused entirely on family life and supporting René through recovery. Fortunately, treatment helped him regain strength. When she eventually returned to performing, she did so with a new perspective, recognizing that success meant little without the people she loved most. Reinventing the stage in Las Vegas. In 2003, Céline began a groundbreaking residency at Caesar's Palace titled A New Day. Instead of touring constantly, she performed in one spectacular show for audiences who traveled to see her. The production combined music, theater, and visual storytelling on an unprecedented scale. Over the next several years, the residency attracted hundreds of thousands of visitors and generated enormous success. More importantly, it allowed Céline to remain close to her family while continuing her career. During this time, she also experienced the joys and challenges of motherhood. Her eldest son, René Charles Angelil, grew up surrounded by music and creativity, forming a strong bond with both parents. The joy and challenges of family. Céline and René long hoped to expand their family. After years of medical treatments and emotional ups and downs, their wish finally came true in 2010 with the birth of twin sons, Nelson Angelil and Eddie Angelil. Their arrival brought immense happiness. For Céline, holding her newborn children was a moment beyond anything she had experienced on stage. Life seemed balanced: family, music, and renewed hope. Yet time was moving forward for René, who was older and still monitoring his health carefully. The couple treasured everyday moments together, aware that life's most meaningful experiences often occur quietly, away from cameras and crowds. Loss and strength in difficult moments. In 2016, René Angelil passed away after a long battle with cancer. Only 2 days later, Céline's brother Daniel also died. The losses arrived close together, creating a deeply emotional period for the singer and her family. Despite the grief, she spoke publicly about love and gratitude for the people who had shaped her life. Soon afterward, she returned to performing in Las Vegas. For Céline, singing again was not about returning to fame. It was about honoring the man who had believed in her voice from the beginning. Audiences responded with overwhelming support, understanding the courage it took to step back into the spotlight. Facing health challenges with courage. Years later, Céline revealed that she had been diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological condition affecting movement and muscle control. The diagnosis forced her to cancel tours and step away from performing once again. She began working with specialists and therapists, focusing on rebuilding strength and adapting to daily challenges. Through updates shared with fans, she emphasized determination and patience rather than discouragement. Surrounded by her children and loved ones, she focused on recovery and maintaining hope for the future. A voice that still inspires. Despite everything she has faced, poverty, public scrutiny, loss, and health challenges, Céline Dion's story remains one of resilience. Her voice has carried emotion across generations, reminding listeners that music can connect people in profound ways. Whether performing on grand stages or focusing quietly on healing, she continues to embody perseverance. The girl who once sang at a kitchen table in Charlemagne grew into one of the most recognizable voices in the world. And beyond the awards or record sales, her greatest achievement may be the courage she shows in continuing forward, step by step, song by song.